everyone. This is Biz Chicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today we're here talking about profits in daily with Coach Karen Fern all the way from Toronto. So excited. Last month, Coach, we talked about budgets, right?
We talk about budgets, boy.
The happiness plans. But I understand that this month we're going to be talking about sales. Is that correct?
We are. We got to get the money in there to do it. We talked about it early in the year, and we're talking about it again to close out the first half of the year, because if you're not bringing in sales in your business, you're not doing business. You're not selling anything. You have to sell something.
Yes.
And so we got to talk about sales. I know yesterday Terry probably talked to you guys something about marketing, social media and stuff. And sales is a direct result from doing all your diligent work, all your social media work that you're supposed to be doing. Some people say social media don't help you sell anything, but it brings awareness. It let people develop their life and trust you factors so that when they go to buy from you, they know who they're talking to.
Exactly. So we are talking about profits in daily. And Cecilia's in the house. Hi, Cecilia. How you doing today?
So we know we were in phase, but we were on track.
Yes. And Marie is here. How you doing, Marie? Morning.
Morning. Yes. So we're going to talk all this month about, we're not going to talk about all of them, but the 9 components of sales mastery. So there's a whole lot of things to talk about in sales, but we're just going to cover, we got 5 weeks, so we're going to cover 5 of them. And we're going to talk about selecting your target market, crafting your message, reaching prospect with advertising, because sometimes we get into the habit of not wanting to pay for it, but I'll give you the good and the bad in that and why that should be part of the component if you're going to really run a successful business, capturing leads, nurturing your leads and sales conversion. All those things are really the wide picture, if you will. Those are those things. And there's some more that really helps you to have this rounded, well-rounded marketing and sales business. Sales in your business happening for whatever business you have. Getting family members to buy, telling a friend, getting referral are all great stuff. But you really want to develop your business in such a way that if nobody told nobody, you still will be making a sale. And that's important in the business. When you're starting out, I understand there's no budget and you have to figure that out. But eventually you want to be able to do that. But today we're just talking about selecting, getting ready to get the people who is your tribe, the people who is going to buy from you, the people who you're going to look after. That's what we're looking at. And we're going to look at who your target audience is, like who have you sold to yet, or even if you're not, we're going to talk about that. Once you have decided on who that person is, you need to understand why you're selling to them. And then number 3 is you're going to write out some descriptions. Now, I know that if you've been in business a long time, somebody had to tell you that you need to write this out, and it's called your avatar, it's called this, it's called that. But we're going to talk a little bit about it here today in a little more detail, and hopefully I can clarify some things in that area, because that is really the goal. I've had something I had written called the one, because when you're speaking to that one person, you don't have to worry anymore. You're not begging for sales. You're not hoping for sales. You're not hoping somebody pity you and buy from you. You're actually, selling. So the first thing is, who's your target audience? When you're selecting that person, you really want to know that they'll buy from you. And even if they're not going to buy from you right away, when they'll buy from you. So to know that is to understand that the people who's going to buy right away, the people who's going to buy in between, and the people who is your long runners. I used to look at it as the relay and the sprinters. And I had a friend who was a journey runner, which means she runs all the time. It didn't matter if she had a race or she didn't had a race coming up, she ran. And that's how you have to look at your business. Really and truly, when you have a business, Don't matter if you're making baskets, you're doing somebody's hair, you doing the light. It didn't matter what you're doing. You have to see your business as this journey. If you only see it as, oh my God, I can't believe I just need to make a little bit of money to do this, your business is always going to be in the mood of, I need to make a little bit of money to do this, and the big money doesn't come. You know, there's so many people who run in businesses who don't really have no sales, nothing set up. They have no marketing and they have no sales. They sell some things. That's it. They just sell some things. They don't have nothing happening. And so they have nothing to measure, and they have nothing to know when. They don't know their season. They don't know when things sell best for them. So all these things that you need to know so that when you decide to do it, you really will do better. You'll fare better. Fare. Can't talk today. You'll fare better. So you need to know who you targeted. And that person, when they show up, when you show up, you know each other and you're good to go. Now, this is trial and error.
Before we move, is this the same as knowing who you're talking to?
Yes.
Know who you're talking to. Okay.
Same as knowing who you're talking to. You got to know. And once you decide who you're going to talk to, which meaning who you're going to sell to, who these people are, you need to know why. And you need to know why because you need to answer all these questions before you talk to them. You're
talking to me.
Why you talk to them? I mean, if you get a bold enough person, they'll ask you, why are you talking to me? And you can explain why they're talking to you. So you have to pre-do these things before. Now I'll come back around, but this one, even though I have number 3, is so important. Most people that you're targeting, you were them a year or 2, even 6 months ago. And so when everybody's saying you to find somebody who reads the target audience, what they want and what they do, it is hard if you haven't sold anything because you don't know that person yet. But if you understand that the help you figured out for yourself is the help you're going to help somebody do, it makes life a little easier. Now, it has to tie into what you're offering. And this rolls right back around why people say work off of your passion, work what off you're good at, because it makes it a little easier for you. When you know that, you know it to your core. If I'm gonna talk about money, I could talk about it all day long because I love it, my passion. I do it. I'm in it. I be it. So I could talk about it. Mindset. I master how I can shift my mind. I spend time. I didn't even know at first that I was doing this for myself, but I taught myself how to switch off, switch out, segregate messages in my head, allow people to chat with me and I don't hear a word they say. It passes right through me because if I'm in the zone and I decide to tune you out, you're out. You can't get in. I have to want you in there for you to be part of my headspace. But as years of trading, so I know I can do that. So I could talk to people about this till the cows come home because I know how to do it. And I know how to do money. So that's why this is my passion, my forte. In everything I do, I know how to do this. I also know how to do sales, but I didn't give myself credit for it for a long time because I didn't see it as sales. And I still love it as more of a conversational seller. That's why I'm writing that book, because that's how I sell. But before you do all of that, you got to know who you are and what. And this part is the part that we don't like and we skip over it, self-included, for a long time. Because it caused for a lot of digging. Why did I do this? How did I do this? How did I come to that? And some things you honestly can't remember all the steps you had taken, but it's taking yourself back to that place. And if it's painful, you don't want to go there, but you need to feel the pain to be able to write the copy for it so the person can hear you through your words. And you need to feel the pain so you can explain the pain to the person, because some people are in a pain where they haven't identified with words yet. It's just there. You know, Monday when you girls were talking, I don't know what's going on my computer. When I type a word, it was doing its own thing. So I stopped typing. I was getting so frustrated. I was like, can you just stop typing? I don't know what was happening. So I just shut it down. But that's the same thing. You have to be able to get in there and be messy with yourself to find out who you are, who you really corely are, to sell to somebody else. And why? Because almost every single thing that we do in this world, somebody has done it before, and a bunch of people are doing it. So there's no safe haven to say, well, I hear people say, I'm not going to be a coach anymore. It's saturated. Everything is saturated. But what you bring into the table is what you are bringing to the table. Period. That's all there is. I can't be anybody else but me. And so you understand that. So if you were selling water, that's all you're selling is water to everybody. But to you, it's more than water. How the water is going to cleanse the body, how you've used water to stop headaches. You've used water. There's so many things people have used water for. Plain old simple water and wash it out of their body. And so you know why you're selling the water. So when you go to talk to somebody, you could tell them a whole bunch of things about water. I can't, but you can because that's your thing.
And Jerry says, so true. We have Jerry and Yolanda in here also. Marie.
Hi, ladies.
How you doing this morning, everyone? Yes.
So, I have the concept where I say you have her and you undress her, take away every part of her, and then you put it back together. That's how you find your target audience. You know, I love earrings. So I would be looking for people who enjoy earrings. So that's a conversation I can have. And I'll tell you why I'm bringing up earrings, because I can have content built around talking about the earrings, because I know as women, we're going to talk about so much other things that eventually you're going to want to know what I do and what you do, and we're going to have that exchange. But because the commonality is earrings, we can talk forever on it. I love earrings. I love wearing my hair in braids. I've been wearing it for years. I like bald my head at times. There's times because I'm going through this phase right now where I'm thinking if I should just take all the hair off. I go through this phase where I just bald my head. My kids don't like it. My husband hates it, but I do go through a bald stage, guys. I've been behaving myself. And it just cleansed me, blah, blah, blah. But so I undress myself. I take away the makeup. I take away everything from me, and I get real raw with myself. And that's what you need to do. And it's hard sometimes, and it's hard most of the time, but you need to do it because you're getting to tap into your target audience. You're getting to see the person for who they are. You know, they might want art. They love art, but they can't get to it for whatever reason, too expensive, to whatever. All these sort of things is make you start realizing these are the people you can talk to. These are the people that you're going to eventually sell something to. So once you undress everything, now it's putting it back together. When you're undressing, that's content. When you're redressing, that's more content. And all that you're doing is part of your sales. Now, that would be a whole class for me to describe everything, but that's in a nutshell, make you become a better salesperson.
Carlos says, hey, did I walk in on someone undressing?
Oh, Carlos.
No, Carlos, we're talking about the avatar, your target audience, and how you have to break the whole personality apart. If you're selling clothing, then you're going to look at their earrings, their shoes. Okay. All right. We didn't mean to confuse you.
Let's put it in context.
It's safe. You can stay, Carlos. Okay.
Oh my God. When I went to my first sales class once, and this lady had us do the age group and the demographics and all that sort of stuff. And I found it boring. And a lot of people found it boring in the class. And I even voiced it to her because she's a real good sales rep. But because it was so cold and cut dry, a lot of people weren't getting it. And the class was becoming a little stagnant. And I started asking her questions. Because I recognize, hey, I know what I'm doing, but you know, when you're online, you're wanting to confirm, because selling online is a little different. You don't have to do so much content creation when you're selling face to face, like when it's online. And that was my little battle at that point. And I taken this workshop course.
Carlos, so the avatar is naked now.
She's naked. She's naked. Carlos, don't start thinking any thoughts.
Okay.
Oh
my gosh. Okay.
You know, so once you start doing that and look back at yourself, look back at where you've been, how you've helped you, how you get you. I coach from a lot of experience and a lot of other people that I've helped experience to bring me to this part. And that's what you want to do. And once you select them, don't get yourself in this place where second guessing yourself and you're like, well, this person said this and that person said that. And no, you got to really build off of you. This big idea that you have, remember, it's going to take tiny steps to get you to where you want to be. And those tiny steps is frustrating for a lot of people because we want things to be done overnight, whether you say it, whether you think you don't want it, you do. Part of you want to see results right away. And there's no results right away. There's no magic. There's just doing it over and over and over and over and over until you get it and you understand it. And so when you go to sell to somebody, you know right away, the minute you start talking to them, you know they're your people or they're not your people. I sell one-to-one. And then when I start selling wholesale wise years ago, once I get to somebody and I start telling you about my goods and I see where you're at, I knew right away. I wouldn't spend more than 5 minutes with them. And I'd say, you know, I'll talk to you later. And they're like, no, I was listening. I was like, I don't think so. You don't want what I have. And I did that until I get to my right people. And then now I know who my wholesalers are, who's the people going to buy from me. There's no fuss. We're not battling back and forth because I'm going with something to them saying, here's how much I'm selling for. Here's how much you can sell back for. And if you do a sale, this is what you can get. And I come with all my numbers. So if you want to battle back and forth with me, you're not my guy. You're not my gal, because this is not up for debate. My sale price is not changing because you might feel away, because I've run my numbers and it's where it needs to be. And so when you hear somebody's charging high ticket or a certain price and they're feeling confident, and if you're not there yet and you're worried, it's just because you haven't worked in numbers, you haven't did the background work that I just talked about, you haven't selected the right people, and now you are doubting yourself. Listen, we all doubt ourselves. You're doubting yourself that you can charge whatever number it was for something. And people will tell you. The other thing you have to understand, when you get to this point and you start charging, there's always somebody's going to tell you how cheaper they can get it at Mrs. Jones. No question. I had a friend who said to me, she says, I could buy those pajamas at Walmart for $12. I said, well, at this store, it's $65. There's no $12. This is a $65 pajamas. Why would I spend $65 to sleep in it? Because you'll see the difference when you put it on your body. That was it. Not begging her, not making sure I get it to $12 for her. No, it was $65, and people were buying it in 3s and 6 because they understood. So those were my people. She were not. And that was okay. She was my target audience, so that was okay. And you got to get there. That selection is important. It mustn't hold you back, but it's important because you want to get it down pat. And if you're new and you haven't sold, then it's a lot of testing. Don't be afraid to test. Don't be afraid to sell it to people and test it out or get it back, whatever that is for you. And it depends on what it is. You know, some things you can't give to people. Like if you're doing printables, you're not going to give it to them. People do not take those back. If you're doing courses, people will copy your stuff. That's just people just teafish. Nobody wants to hear it, but people will do that. And you have to be careful with that sort of stuff. Otherwise than that, you know, if it's a product or something that you want to test and you got people that you know you can use to test it out with, use those people. Get it out there so you can see who's your people. When I opened my cleaning company, I had a bunch of people that I went through and a bunch of people that didn't matter how they call my phone down, we were not going to serve them again. They weren't our clientele. They were on a certain budget. They didn't understand the boutique service we offered. We weren't a run-of-the-mill where we come in and we out of there and we didn't know. Everything was laid out. They had a package, and those people stayed with us for years. Clients for 15 years because the service we offer. They move offices, and we're still servicing their offices because the quality of work that we do, and we keep up with quality of work. And I am who I am as the owner, the person that manages other things. Most times, she's the person they get in contact with, and we keep our standard, and we train a lot, and we stay focused. But I had to go through a lot of people that wasn't good for us and let them go, even when they could have paid us, because they weren't our target audience. And that's really, really important. Selecting your target audience. Today, guys, we're talking about sales. And if anybody have any question for me for sales, let me know. Because how else do you get your profits in, right? How else do you make money in your business? You got to sell something, and it has to be profitable. And you have to understand the cycle. And you got to know that whatever you have, whatever you're producing, it's good enough. And if it isn't, then go fix it. Make it a better product. conduct your business differently, do the work. It is work that you have to do to get your business to where you want it to be. When you're not selling, somebody's selling to you. When you're not selling, somebody is selling to you. My email is always packed with people selling me something. I don't be mad with them. They're doing their job. I admire them. The people who consistently send me emails, even though people get annoyed with it. No, I actually have my email, some of them segmented to some people who I love how they market. I love what they're doing, how they're people who they're not really working the business. They are randomly sending you email. And I'm not gonna lie, I put up my hand. When I first started, I sent an email here, sent an email there. Wasn't consistent enough. So they understand, even if they don't realize that I'm not their target audience, they're thinking that somewhere down the road I might buy from them. They have people who that has happened. I needed their service, and they've been, nurturing me all along the way. So then I probably bought something from them, or I did before. So they're retargeting me and that sort of thing, because I am part of what they're looking for to sell to. So sales is not complicated. We complicate it because we don't want to do that back end work. That's stripping and redressing and really getting into the client's head, which means your head, until you start understanding. And you mightn't have everything within you that you needed, but the minute you service at least 6 clients who's close to what you want, you could take those 6 people and start rearranging some things about them, and they become over time your ideal client, that you want to work with. You want to work with people. I'm in the coaching industry, so I want to work with people who's open to be coached, who is willing to spend the time doing the things that I'm asking them to do, which means a lot of homework. When I research things and give them to do to grow their business, they're willing, and they're understanding that, even though at their understanding, maybe at a moment when we start working together, it doesn't look like it's going to get them to their end game. But it will, because I've seen in them, and they had discussed with me some things that they're lacking or feeling at the moment. And so the activity, the stuff that I'm walking them through is to get them there. The problem is when somebody don't want to do the work I've given them. They didn't do the homework. They said, well, my dad wasn't feeling well, and then my mom called me, and then I had 2 clients and they were really nasty, so I had to fix that. But those same clients, they're going to get them back again because they're not looking after what is happening in their business that is not doing. I had this one client, I said to her, are you making enough money per month that you want to make? She goes, nowhere near that kind of money. So I said, well, we'll have to look at prices. We might have to raise your fees and stuff. She just went into shutdown mood because money, even though she said no, money, real big money scares her. So in her head, she can charge. That's what she says to me. I can't charge people that because Mrs. So-and-so, they will go to Mrs. So-and-so. No, they won't. No, they won't. You would have to know how to address it so that you can raise your prices. This is important. But because she wasn't willing to go there and didn't do the homework after 3 sessions, and yes, she paid me, I gave her back the money, and we didn't continue. I let her go because she wasn't coachable. She wasn't doing any of the work. And experience have taught me, if people do not do the work I give them, they can get to where they want to be, at least through me. I mean, I started there don't match. And she was a referral. She wasn't somebody that I marketed to. She was referred to me because the person was getting such good results themselves that they're like, this girl needs you. I can tell you she needs you. And I said to her, maybe you do, but you're not ready yet for me. Because if you're not doing the work, you're not ready. You got to do the work. You got to do the work if you want to keep your shop and you want to keep growing your shop and being able to actually pay the bills rather than going into your savings to pay the bills. To own a shop makes no sense whatsoever. But she's very scared and worried. But she still had to be wanting to do the work. So you have to.
Oh my goodness.
You're going to have to do the work. You're going to have to do the work. You're going to find your target audience. Next week, we'll talk about crafting your message. Knowing what to say, what to look for, what to do, that sort of thing we'll be talking about to find them and let them put up their hands and mention and talk to you. Don't be those people like this lady. I sanction on her content and she says, well, the minute you answer me, I'm going to be in your inbox telling you what I have to sell. And I say to her, I don't know how many people are buying from you, but I bet you not many. I didn't hear from her again. If you click or say something, you're going to sell me something. Mm-hmm. That's not how sales work. Sales is a long mile. Sales is not here today. I mean, if you open, one of the reasons I was reading this the other day, a lot of small business will open a shop is so that they don't have to sell. Wrong.
Oh, because they think people will come to the shop.
Walking. That's why a lot of people go to fairs, or when you used to have before Corona, art shows and all those stuff. So they just hang and they sit back. If you notice, if you ever went to those things and you observe, and I used to be at those when I used to design clothing, and I always carry something that would attract people. So I'll carry like freezies, or I'll carry like cookies or something. And so me and the people can have a conversation who's passing. And then we'll talk about that, or maybe I'm doing a giveaway or something. You need to be interactive, which means that's sales. The other thing you need to do, if you were going to an art fair, some kind of fair or seller's market, flea market, you want to tell people in advance. You want to start advertising. I am going to be at so-and-so place. That's way before social media. You're telling people, so people will come looking for you. So you're bringing people. You can't depend on the organizer alone to make a sale. And the same goes for a business. That's why when we're doing the sale, we want to look after this stuff. For the people who was new to a flea market at those things, we don't know who's going to be there. But the testing is watching who's going to be there. Now we know, oh, this is our group of people, or these people don't work for us. This is not a kind of fair for us. We don't want to be at this exhibition anymore. We're going to have to find others. And that's because you're tested. When you understand, next time you book, you call the people and you booking, you say to them, is so-and-so going to be here? Is what kind of people come to your fair? A lot of you can ask a bunch of questions, and then it makes you know if you're the right place selling your wear. If what you have coincide in what the organizer is.
Exactly. If you have high-end purses, you might not want to go to a flea market or a church bazaar or something, because those folks are looking for bargains.
Yes, exactly. We have a thing here where it's closed because of Corona, exhibition place. When we have that, it's 3 weeks straight. And I had a booth there, and I did well the first run. I didn't advertise like I'm talking about, but I did well the first run because the people that came is quality. People are coming there because they're coming to buy. And you're there for 3 weeks and they're coming to buy. People coming to spend, and they're looking for quality, handmade pajamas. And I would make sets for men. A lot of men and their sons wanted, because Machi is girl and they're the mom. But the men's sets rarely sold. Canada's cold. So, and I had a double knitted flannel fleece that I made pajamas out of. So it's warm and cozy, and I had reference of it being washed well. I make my mom wear them, my kids wear them. So I brought the wash ones for them to see when it washed, how it looked over time. All that is hands. All that information is happening. My sewing machine is at the front. I'm making some little stuffed toys, and everybody's fascinated, and we're having conversation and we're talking. So I'm selling. Because I'm interacting with the people there. That's what they came for. If you stand in your booth and just sit around, well, you're going to sell, but you're not going to cover your, and it was very expensive to be there because they're juried. Juried is best. Anyway, here it's very best to be where there's juried, which means you have to take in your product in advance. They have to test it out, make sure it's good quality in and out. And there's, judges who run a table and seeing if it's good product, and then you get it okay or not. Pretty expensive, but pretty rewarding to sell at functions like that, because it was high end, so I needed to.
This is great. So it's important to know our audience, because that is what will lead to sales.
Yes, and you need to know who you are and how your product will work. If it's a product, you need to know that. If it's a service, you need to understand that. I know people will say on the internet, just scramble anything to get them, people will buy. They will buy, but they wouldn't continue buying. And if you own a business, you don't just want temporary buyers. You want people who's going to buy now, tomorrow, and, continue. You do.
All right. Well, we've been talking with Coach Karen all the way from Toronto, Canada, about how to bring profits in daily.
Uh-huh.
Find Coach Karen Fern, and that's Karen with a C, everywhere under Profits in Daily on our various channels. She's on Facebook, she's on YouTube, Periscope, and others. So be sure to look her up and take her advice. I hope you guys had a pencil today. If you, because like you said, Coach, if we're not selling, someone's always selling to us.
Yes.
Hopefully vice versa.
Yes, exactly.
That would make the economy work, right? People interacting and doing business. So remember, Coach Karen Fern, all the way from Toronto, Canada, Profits in Daily. You can also catch this on the replay on our Facebook page and also on YouTube or Twitter. So with that, Coach, we just thank you for reminding us we need to know who we're talking to when we are doing sales. It'll save us a lot of time and effort.
Girl, you would not be beating your head. You would not be beating your head. I had this one client I had you for once, and I loved her house. And, I just started my cleaning company, and I call that woman every single week. I send her an email every single week for nearly a year. And she never used back her services. And I called her one day and I said, do you want me to stop emailing you and stop calling you and what have you? I decided to just be bold and just ask her. And she said to me, she says, Karen, girl, we can't afford your services. My husband said, he's going to clean. He doesn't want to pay for cleaning services. I said, in my head, you could have just told me. But her friend used us, and the friend had money, and she liked the service. So he convinced him to have it done the one time, but he refused to keep doing it, even though she wanted to get it done. Because he was one of those people, if he can do it himself, he's not paying for anybody to do it. We got those too. And it's okay. It's okay. But I should have asked after I sent over, I don't want to tell you the number, emails.
Well, that's okay, because you know something? He could have changed his mind during the course of that time.
Right. And they have my information. Yeah, I left it. I said, anytime, just give us a call. And that's what you have to leave. You can't worry also about the no's. That's going to come. That's a must. People are going to say no.
And it's okay.
It's okay.
And as my grandson says, so when do you think you'll be ready?
I like it already.
In other words, what should I call back?
Getting himself for the next time around.
He's staging it. He's staging it. He's leaving the door open. So with that, I want to remind you, everyone, that tomorrow we'll be talking with Robin Shimizu and friends, Happy Healthy Habits with Robin Shimizu. And on Friday, we'll be talking tech and English. So we want you to remember, go to the front of your own line. Have a great day.
Yes.
And don't forget to follow Coach Karen. All right? With that, have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
Oh, we look forward to it. Bye-bye.